Hi, everybody. Is the music playing right now? Can someone let me know? A medium high? Hi, everyone. Mary Jane, Freeside, Sean B, Sunshine, Jason B26. No music? Oh, oh my God, you guys. I thought I had some going. Set the ambiance. Now, I have no idea if this music is all like peppy and whatnot because I can't hear it on my end. Oops, I don't want that one. So yeah, this is Track Tribe. Sound the alarm. All right. Should be going now. You're trying to get caught up, Mary Jane? Yeah. I watched it on my iPad on 2 times the speed and took 18 pages of flippin' notes. Okay, thank you, you guys. Is it a peppy song or not too peppy, hopefully? These are what I chose in the free YouTube library, and I have no idea. Hopefully it's not like too peppy or too somberly sad. The trial certainly is. Someone let me know. Hi, Peggy. Look at this. It's so funny. Okay, you guys, let me know when the song ends, because I, for real, have 1 hour. I have about 10 hours left on the free plan, and there's 10 more days. So I looked at my calendar, and I've been keeping track. So we'll let the song play through, and then someone let me know. Hi, Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. Yo. Hi, everyone. Just welcome Jason B26. I don't think he's been in here yet, have you? I'm assuming it's a man because that's what the avatar picture is, but it could be a woman with her husband or boyfriend's picture. I don't know. Please hit the like, please subscribe if you haven't. I need just 5 more to 2,460. I so want it. I get it and then it's gone. I get it and then it's gone. That's been happening for 3 days now. And you guys let me know when the song ends. I'm going to be quiet. She does. I cover a lot of what the Dr. Clark says today. All right. The song ended. Hi, Mama Shellbell. Thank you. Thank you. It's good to be back. It's good to be back. Okay, the song is still going, or is it just looping? Thank you. Hit the like, you guys. Subscribe if you're not. Or haven't, or whatever. And then I'm gonna read my copyright and get into this. Because... Electro. Goodness. Hi everyone, thank you. I'm so glad you guys are here. I'd just be talking to myself. Remember, I can't hear a thing on this end. It's completely silent in my room. I don't have the kitties in here except when I'm talking. Still trying to figure out the volume on the background music. Not the volume. I think it's my speakers. The iPad. Golly, it's a long song, huh? When the state rested tonight in the sweet and endearing manner that the female lawyer, I can't remember her name, for Carly Gregg was treating her. Oh, it restarted. Okay. Literally almost made me cry. So at the end of my reading, if I get emotional, it's because I remember what happened. If you guys watch the trial, you'll see how she pushes back one little hair that's kind of sticking out in her curl because her hair is cut short, actually kind of like mine. Hers is only maybe an inch longer than mine. Okay. Paused and then went again. All right. Hi. Peace. Good evening, everyone. Did it stop? Okay, good. Copyright disclaimer. This video is for educational purpose only. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news, reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Alrighty. How is everyone tonight? You guys can hear my voice. These are my pages of notes. It's pretty much just what happened in day 3. So I ran a couple errands today and came back and wrote like mad. My finger's a little sore. Okay, guys, ready? Day 3, Carly Gregg versus Mississippi. So apparently the state had rested its case, and so it was the defense's turn, right? Carly Gregg, along with the choice of her lawyers, she decided to wait till later after more testimony to decide if she wants to testify or not. So she stood up and he was like, okay, don't look at your lawyers. This is up to you type deal. A juvenile witness did testify by the defense, and her initials were KS, I believe. They're in here. They won't even say her name, which is interesting. I think it's KS. And they didn't show it, right? No audio, no video was permitted. Okay, so Heath Smiley, her stepdad, testified again. Okay, for the second time, he's there for the defense. So even though he was shot at and wounded, he seems like he's majorly supporting her. They smile at each other now and then a little bit. So it does seem like they had a really good relationship, which is good. He was in the with the family, or married the mother who Carly shot and killed. she admits to this, 3.5 years ago. He was married to her for. He testified that Carly, his stepdaughter, and Ashley Smiley, his past wife, or I mean, passing away wife, deceased wife, her mom had a good relationship. He was shown pictures of the marriage, and he was smiling, and they were all, of course, in the picture with Carly, hiking and things like that. Also, they purchased the 2 golden retrievers around that time. Then there was cross-examination. So what I'm going to do is, hi everybody, I'm going to just read because I have 45 minutes. I have literally an hour each time until it turns over and gives me another 20 hours, which is in 10 more days, which is shocking, but that's what my laptop or my iPad says. And then if there's time, and I'm pretty sure there will be, any questions in chat, you guys want to discuss something about this trial, let's do it, okay? All right. So cross-examination from, the state. Let's see. The state was showing pictures to the stepfather from 1 year ago of Carly. And the stepdad seemed kind of perplexed by the questions. Like, is that what she was always like or something? And he was like, yeah, like how she looked. But of course, I didn't see the pictures. I don't. And then boom, they bring up, oh, she was 6 inches from you when she shot you, right? So that was weird. It was like 2 things, boom. Okay, so apparently they're calling her iPod the burner phone. Now, I just didn't know that an iPod, you guys, could be considered a burner phone, but this is what the state is saying or suggesting, or maybe it's truth. I don't know. The defense was upset and kind of drilled, and I was kind of happy to see it because I think it was wrong too. The deputy, okay, that ended up picking up Carly after this incident, he turned his body cam off. Carly was in the car. Okay, it was on. You could hear the dogs whining and barking and whatnot, like a, German Shepherd would. And she was in the car. And apparently the policy is to do so after Carly was reprehended. That's when he did it. But he was saying that it was because of personnel issues. But you can tell by the trial it had nothing to do with that. And to this very moment, as I'm sitting here, I don't know why he did it. But he got a kind of a scolding for it. So he picks her up and he's driving her back to her home. Okay. Then, before she gets out of the car, this deputy shows, I wrote down rookie cop because he was learning. Okay, maybe that's the wrong word, and I don't want any policemen or wives or husbands of cops out there to be upset with me. I'm just going by what I know. He didn't know how to do the, the swab dusting or whatever, swabs or the dusting of her hands for fingerprints and this kind of thing. So here, this isn't just like a burglary. Someone was, you know what I mean? Like killed and the other one wounded, and they're teaching someone. That just kind of surprised me. So he says to Carly, "You're the girl, right? You're the girl that fired with a pistol." And she said, "Yes, yes, I am." Now, I'm really bothered by this, and no one else caught it, so there must not be anything wrong with it, I'm thinking. The defense didn't say anything or anything, but you guys, aren't you supposed to be read your Miranda rights? I mean, he came right out and said that you shot with the pistol. And she probably felt like she had to answer him honestly, right? I was absolutely floored by that because that's boom, admissible right there. And she's, a minor, and I don't know. I've seen other cop shows where even when they're getting into the car, it's like, okay, anything you say will be held against you, and the what is it? Can and will be used against you, blah, blah, blah. So I was going to look up Miranda rights, and I forgot, tell you the truth. So she did ask if her stepdad was okay. Not her mother, but anyway. And let's see. He states, "Oh, Carly doesn't know her mother's dead." That's what the deputy was saying into the thing. I mean, into the body cam. Okay, the body worn camera, the BWC. The policy is read by the cop. I'm sorry, the policy in court was read to this cop. Like he didn't, follow protocol. And all law initiated events are to have the audio and camera on. A document to be reported one day later. There was a report done. So the report was to be done that day. It was done a day later. Just little things they found. No entry was marked on the day of the incident. Oh, yeah, entries to be done. The report can be done, I believe, a day later. So then he was off the witness stand, and Dr. Clark came on, and that was the adolescent forensic psychologist. He's testified in 150 different court cases. He's been practicing for 28 years, and he's an expert in child adolescent psychiatry. He's an expert child adolescent psychiatrist. Then they went to lunch. On August 9th, he drew up the mental evaluation. He spoke with the stepdad, the grandparents, and so those people, right, with the white hair, the lady with the short white hair and that kind of thing, sitting there on Carly's side are her grandparents. And I'm assuming now, because they're not absolutely sobbing, that perhaps, well, no, I mean, would they be the stepdad's parents? Or do you know what I mean? Couldn't they be, even though he's the stepdad by marriage, they would be grandparents? And he was shown, this Dr. Clark, a video, and he had a 4-hour interview with Carly, and his personal opinion is given. The final decision was not made by Dr. Clark whether she was insane or not. He said the finders of fact will be, for the jury to decide. His analysis and findings were for the jury to make the decision, he said. He uses facts, data, training, observations, and standard protocol was done. Then the report is admitted. Carly is looking and smiling at her grandparents now and then. She's kind of turning like that. Not a lot, just a little. I'm live. They support her along with her stepdad. So he did a diagnosis med. Okay, that's something else. So the Dr. Clark said about her relationships, it was close and complicated with the stepfather and problematic with her biological father. She skipped fourth grade because she was, very intelligent, all of this, and got number 30 on her SAT score. And for me, it was an aha moment because I had said from day one, perhaps she felt she kind of had to please her mother and do almost everything right in a way. And again, I'm not, implying anything negative against the mom. It's just some of these are factual. And in Dr. Clark's sermonization, he said that she felt that she needed to please her mom, to be dutiful. Last year, she stayed out past her curfew. She snuck out of the window or the house or somewhere to visit a friend. That'll give an idea of a little bit of the situation with her that's leading up to these things from just, I don't know exactly when that was. I think he said the year prior. That was 6 weeks. She has 6 weeks of marijuana use in there, which he said she told him sometimes it was 2 to 4 times a week, sometimes it was 3 to 5. And she had a little sister that passed away at 18 months when Carly was 4, and that was really hard for her. And there's talk that the mother, kind of, her little sister passed away because of like genetic kind of abnormality kind of deal. And so to me, it seems like possibly she used Carly, right, in place sort of what wasn't there anymore. Her biological dad, okay, who was in the middle of the contentious divorce all the way up to the mother's passing, was unreliable, angry. And these are the things that she told Dr. Clark. There were times there was no food or fluid for her. She hid from her father once, and he was under her bed. Because she had to visit him and visit the mother type deal back and forth. And he was a dangerous, a scary driver. So she's just this little girl back then, 7th grade was when she brought the knife to school, and that was talked about some kind of, was it a Swiss Army knife or something on Amazon that was like a female color, I guess, that her stepdad had showed her or bought for her and didn't think she'd bring to school, and she did, and she didn't threaten anyone with it or anything, but because of that incident, she had to go to an alternative school for a whole semester. Oh, hi, St. Elmo's Fire. I'm glad I saw your question now because I've got 9 pages and then both sides, so it's kind of like 18 to read. And I literally have roughly half an hour because I only have an hour each day for 10 more days until I get more time for StreamYard. The divorce was between the biological dad and her mom who died. Yeah. And it was, about Carly and everything. He wanted her over there. Apparently he, introduced her to her first beer, at like age 9, things like this. He's the one that introduced her to the marijuana ever, like even before the school age kind of thing. Um, Anyway, at this alternative school, she actually helped teach the classes. She was there one semester. Um, he said she was more of a follower than a leader, he felt. And that is because on a dare, somebody dared her to drink hand sanitizer, and she did. Now, of course, it's not that one little incident, but after talking to her and everything, getting to know her. From age 6 to 9, Carly was depressed, unhappy about the divorce, financially strained, the death of her sister, and she was having intrusive memories of her biological father. And then that is actually when she started hearing a male voice in her head. She was having auditory hallucinations. And Dr. Clark said that she said that they were simple, and it was do better than that. Okay. She felt distant from the world, and she didn't feel right. She was having a little bit of disassociation and all kinds of things. She had intrusive thoughts, which are bothersome and can be haunting, caused by a post-traumatic incident. And it says here, after times with her father brought this on, her biological father. So age 9, auditory hallucinations, the world isn't real. Age 9 to 11, depression and anxiety. Age 12, because she was 14 when this incident occurred. So 2 years prior, she was doing superficial cutting. I guess I can say that on her thighs, right? Dr. Clark said many teens do that to sort of in their mind suppress the pain and that kind of thing. And then her parents found out about this CUTTING December 2023. They had no idea. For what is that, a whole year? Or no, they had no idea. Age 12, 13, 14. Yeah, a whole year. Because a year and a half. A year and a half. Okay, the old iPod, the biological father was texting her on the old iPod. She slept over there in the summer of 2023. And then when she started having problems with sleep and had to take melatonin. And for being that young and at that age, even though it's, a natural kind of thing, we all know what melatonin is. She didn't just take 2 milligrams like other kids. She took 5 and then 10 milligrams. And then it got to the point where, and I'm reading all this, you guys, because you'll understand the dynamics between her mother and her. And what's so sad is, as soon as they really found out things and were noticing more disturbing details of things, they tried to get her help. Do you know what I mean? Her mother, because her daughter was increasing the dose behind her back, kept the melatonin and would give her one little pill. So, I mean, it has to be done, but maybe she felt like she was losing some control then over her life. I don't know. January in 2024, she started staying up. Now, the incident happened in March. This is 2 months before. She was staying up late. She was CUTTINGing. Even though they found out in December, she kept doing it in January. And that is when they got her into therapy and she was evaluated. But Dr. Clark said they didn't ask about mania, right? They just covered sort of depression and anxiety issues. But she had a mania, which is like bipolar and all this, which he ends up diagnosing her with at the end. And then also he felt that she had a DSM-5, which is an adjustment disorder, right? Probably from going back and forth, back and forth. And she also had a major depressive disorder, not just being depressed, but a disorder where it affects everything, right? Your sleep, your energy, your concentration, you feel slow, your eating, no joy, and possibly, right, thoughts of unaliving yourself. And that's what happened. This is what she went through. She had an eating disorder too at a real young age. She would binge and purge, and she never really lost much weight, but she was trying things like that. So an antidepressant, the Zoloft, which is widely used for adolescents, he said. The very end, she was on that for 1 month, 25 milligrams, and it wasn't working. I mean, this is what she said. So then in February, it went from 25 up to 50. And this is significant too, you guys, because some people are saying, well, she just stopped one med and started another. And Dr. Clark is saying she wasn't on the right one when the incident happened. That's his end result. But anyway, and then when she was on the 25 to 50, she started just feeling numb and actually got more depressed and was feeling zombied. That's what kind of zombied out, Carly told him. So on March 12th, 1 week before the incident, because it was on the 19th of this year, 2024, she felt numb and she changed. That's when she changed her med to Lexapro, 5 milligrams. She actually was told to do a lower dose, right? Go back down to the 25 in Zoloft. But she admits that she didn't and she stopped abruptly. And that can be serious, when you're on a med that young. So the mother, when she was very young, Ashley Smiley, she was put on Prozac, and it made her feel like unaliving herself as a child, so they were against that. And maybe, I don't know, but maybe that's why they didn't want to be a little more extreme and do the antipsychotic, right? They thought that depression medicine, antidepressant was good enough. But he really, Dr. Clark, honed in on the fact that is more damaging when you have like bipolar and mania, because it can make your symptoms more depressive. So it's hard, he said everyone's different, we all know this. And that's why this trial is intriguing to me too, because as you guys know, I covered in my training guidebook that I have called Pebbles in the Pond, all those things, right? depersonalization and, schizophrenia and psychosis and unspecified psychosis disorders and all kinds of things. Yeah, Dr. Clark took the stand today. Yeah, and he was up there for quite some time. On March 12th, a week before, she was, okay, no, that's something different. In February, okay, now the incident happens in March. In February, she was smoking. I'm just going to call it Mary Jane on here because I probably can just say pot and maybe not get in trouble. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to get in trouble on the show. But Mary Jane is so 50s and 60s, so that's ridiculous. Anyway, like I said, 2 to 3 times or 4 times a week. That's what it was. In the evening, this is without her mom or her stepdad knowing, and while she was at school during the day. So, and that's significant. And you'll see why for those of you that didn't see the testimony today. She did it to relieve her, or people do it to relieve their stress, their anxiety. It's considered self-medicating at times, unless it's given to you for the medicinal reasons, right? And a lot of adolescents do that take or smoke this also, you guys, because they are actually struggling with mental health issues, which Dr. Clark said when you're young like that, you can cover them up easily because there's a stigma out there, about it. People say, and in this state, we actually have an organization called Stomp the Stigma, right? Anyway, I know about that because I used to join a NAMI group on Zoom, but I didn't have enough privacy, type deal. And this was before I ended up ever going live and openly talking about what my son goes through with his permission. I did ask. Anyway, and those were the symptoms that she was having too: stress and anxiety and depression, her mood disorder. So she didn't feel as engaged in life. Everything was affecting her sleep and her academic performance. Okay. So she actually, which I had forgotten, out of her entire high school, she got some kind of award thing, right? Some kind of award thing. Okay, on March 19th, the day of this incident, she said she woke up feeling grumpy and irritable. She didn't have any marijuana, I'll just say it. But the day before, on the 18th, she did. And so Dr. Clark's, and she went ahead and had that, she stated, when her mom and her stepdad went to the store. And during that time, she felt, well, I'll get to it later. It's in here somewhere. Her body was shaking. I don't know if it was bad stuff. I don't know. But she said she felt out of control, really scared, dropped to the floor for like 20 minutes. And she felt like a psychotic break thing, but maybe it was just bad. Yeah, very bizarre case. Hi, Wild Angel. Hi, Pink Rose. Yeah, the poor kid in Mississippi that has a 15-year-old in adult jail. Yeah, yep. And she can be charged as an adult like this if the crime is particularly, this is what they said yesterday, right? Heinous, and premeditated. And that's what the state believes. And you see the footage, and she's kind of creeping around with the pew pew, and yesterday's testimony so far was clearly the most upsetting, at least to me. Hi, Halloween baby, and everyone else. Please hit the like, you guys, and please subscribe if you haven't. I just need 5 more. Hi, Amber E. 5 more, and I'll have my wonderful number of 2,460. Was that part not on body cam, says Amber E. I don't know what part. I have to like go through. Maybe that's why the defense is asking day 1 regular procedures of body cam being on. Yeah, well, they know. They just had him read it, right? And it was like they were scolding him, and he had this big voice and, looked like some maybe ex-Marine dude or something, and I mean, he handled it well, but okay. So anyway, I have some pages I'm going to read, and if I have time, see, now it's 15 minutes. So I'm just going to read. I'm not even going to look at chat. And if we have time, I'm sorry to say, because I checked my calendar, I was up to 9 hours used up. But on the 28th, it's a turnover of 20 for me, which I'm lucky because I've only been on here. Today's will make a week, right? So I get a turnover before the 30 days, which is nice. Okay, so Dr. Clark's conclusion is that she has a mood disorder and the hypomania. And but she never had these dangerous manic psychotic episodes. So he classified her, or his diagnosis for her, and then the antidepressants making things worse. That's how he has proof about the mania and the depression, is bipolar 2. All right. Now, the biological father has bipolar disorder. And she said that both her and her mother were afraid she might have the same mental illness as her dad, but they never stated what it was until, in trial today. Also, to go along with this hypomania where you take risks and everything, she started having regular, discrete times. She was taking risks, and she went ahead and had her nipple pierced. I mean, that's what she said. She was depressed 60% of the time, Dr. Clark figured on his thing. The hypomanic, 20%, and then 20% was just a regular state. So then this thing called a mini screen was given to her where many questions are asked, and her female lawyer, should know her name by now, asked only about certain ones. So he asked Carly these questions, and then I'll give, I'll say her answer. Depressed in the past 2 weeks. Okay, now this is after the incident, right? She said yes. Feeling like you want to die this past month. Yes. Full of energy, which just isn't normally herself. Yes. So she was back and forth with the depression and the anxious and scared, and not even for like real things where you just think something might happen. Yes. Uneasy, panicky, felt like she couldn't escape, at all and be safe. It was very difficult for her. Yes. Anxiety, anxious for the past 6 months. Yes. Thoughts and impulsive intrusive thoughts, repeated bad thoughts for the past month on both of these. Yes and yes. And a traumatic experience. I don't know if it was probably the past month. I don't know, whatever it said. Yes. So, like I said in the beginning of her getting evaluated, which happened to be, or seeing a therapist the first time, they said was January. January. So anyway, and they didn't catch the mania parts, and that's okay. I mean, no one's really at fault because she's a young girl and they probably just thought it was depression, right? And that can be a problem though with meds. She had disorganized thinking early in her life. Her eating disorder, mood disorder, cutting, and hearing voices. Okay. This will give you a little bit of the dynamics and some things that she said to her daughter that could have been upsetting, or that she might have harbored some negative feelings towards her mom for, but I don't know. So I'm not saying that, but possibly. December 2023, okay, January, February, 3 months before the incident, her mom said to her, you may be just like your dad mentally. That could have really scared her. I don't know. I don't know if she said it condescendingly or just said it. Yeah, teenagers are good at hiding their mental illness. I already said that. And Carly felt this need to be aware of her mother's mental state all the time. Was she okay? Was she happy? Was she approving? Was she disapproving? She never wanted to disapprove her mother. And I'm not trying to say her mom was making her be a perfectionist, but maybe at a young age she felt like that. I don't know, right? Dr. Clark, he doesn't know, but he just takes all the facts and the data and talking to family and gives his best thing. She also needed to be aware of her mom's mental state, meaning, is she happy today? Is she sad? All the time. If her mom wanted to watch a certain movie, she felt the need to be pleasing and dutiful to her and would sit down and watch that movie and even read a book with her mother that her mother wanted to read, not one she would rather read or a movie she would rather see. 1 week before the incident was when Carly started journaling. So she didn't just write away in some journal for years. It was, or no, she started in January, 2 months before. That comes later on, but she says a week before the incident, I think I had a not word for word because I took notes, but I think I had a psychotic break today. I sound crazy. I'm hearing voices in my head. I'm unsure if I will if I'll bring this to my therapist's attention tomorrow. So this is what I mean. She's going to a therapist and this and that. Okay. So she was put on an antipsychotic for the first time, and it was Abilify, 10 milligrams, the year before at the end of April. Okay, so 11 months prior. She was put on 10 milligrams, and he said that's really high. Most people are on 2, maybe 4. 10 to 15 milligrams is the upper limit, he said. So that was a very high dose for her being on that. And her hallucinations were commanding, auditory, denying or minimizing. Or no, I'm sorry, she would deny or minimize, but these voices would tell her to do things. He never said she had schizophrenia. I think the criteria with that, can't remember all that I read, but it's because, the lawyer asked, that's more of like, is someone following me? Or, I mean, not just following, is there a chip in this thing and I'm being watched? And also there's a lot of pacing at times. And he covered all that. He didn't feel she had that. She has been bawling her eyes out and distraught naturally and really missing her mom every single day since the incident, and just started feeling a little better in August. April through June, she was distraught, bawling every day, and August feeling a little better being on her. Well, I don't know what she's on now, to tell you the truth. I don't know if she's on anything now, so I'm not going to say. But she started just not crying every day in August, this past August. She was on Lexapro for 1 month, and then in April, this is the year before all of this happened, she was on Celexa. My son was on all of these too. He didn't like the Lexapro. He went off the Celexa. He was on for a year. It really helped him with his OCD and his anxiety. But then when he tried it again, when he was more of a grown man, a bigger person or whatever, he said it wasn't working. And I was like, please just give it a good month or give it a good chance. And I think he gave it 2 weeks or something. I take notes on my calendar of when he starts things, what he takes, how much. So we have a clue of what's going on. Um, Dr. Clark said there's personality disorders and there's people with personality traits. And he didn't feel she had a personality disorder, but definitely personality traits. And the traits were, she felt she had to be dutiful and please her mother and do well academically. Changing that up and kind of becoming a teen was hard for her, you know. He did not, then they asked, well, is she a callous person, just uncaring, right? After what she did, what we saw on film yesterday. And he said, he did not see that in her. She does not have callous, unemotional traits. And he said that because of the past things. There were never any like threats at school or threats at home, or do you know what I mean? That kind of thing. Parker, I have limited time.
Did you get my note?
No, I didn't. I'm doing a live and I'm not going to get up and look for a note.
I put the note under your door.
Okay, well, I will read your note when I'm done, okay?
Okay.
I've
just called me to say hi.
All right. I've talked to you about this. Just give me my time uninterrupted, please. Her lawyer, Carly's lawyer, said, is she diabolical? Which, I mean, we all know what that is, right? Just crazy, uncaring, whatever. And he said, not Carly. And this is why he really feels that things have been brewing mentally and psychologically for her, but she did almost like kind of just, well, she said today she doesn't remember from, when is it? From the time when she got home, okay, after bringing the dogs out or something like that, until she was found in the drainage pipe, wet, when the cop spotted her and said, "Are you the one that is fleeing from the house?" She's like, "Yes." And he said, and I said this earlier, and it makes me mad. I think he should have read her Miranda rights. He said, "Are you the one that shot the gun at your parents, or you shot with it?" He said pistol in your right hand. He said all this stuff, and she's just like, "Yes." I mean, that's practically a confession right there, and she wasn't read her Miranda rights even. I don't know. I'm upset about it. Okay, so the day after the incident, no, sorry. The day before the incident, her thoughts were racing and they were jumbled. That's when she fell to the floor. She couldn't control her body for about 20 minutes. It was a very scary experience. That's when her parents went to the store. On March 19th, Carly, the day of the incident, woke up feeling groggy, not very irritable. Irritable and groggy were the two words she told Dr. Her mom found out that day at school, you guys, from one of Carly's friends, a male, a young male, that she was smoking pot again, and probably a little too much, could have a problem, and this kind of thing. He was just concerned for her, you know, and the mother, right, is a math teacher at that school. And so the mother always drives Carly home and confronted her about this at school and even searched her bag at the school. Okay, so there were a few things leading up to it. And it explains to me why there wasn't much talking when they got home. No, "I'll put dinner on in a little bit," or "Do you want an apple?" or absolutely nothing, just silence between the two as they're walking around the house. Her mother was upset with her. Okay, Carly came home, let the dogs out, and then she says her mind went blank until she was wet, being in a drainage pipe, this kind of thing. Her mother said to her at school, "Are you lying or hiding anything?" Okay, it was SK are the initials. Was told by Carly that she was hearing voices like a year back or so. So, I mean, she clearly has mental stuff. And of course, the state and everybody's trying to figure out, is she just saying she was kind of in a blackout, right, during the incident, or was she really, you know? She really misses her mom. She's been having a real difficult time ever since the incident. And he also said that some people have unspecified psychotic disorders. Okay. And he felt that she did. And the voices were pretty much the same, or it was pretty often. It was, "You're better than that guy," which maybe that was ingrained in her brain. You can do better than that. You're better than that. I don't know. By the parents, maybe friends. I just don't know. Her auditory commands were more frequent and demanding, leading up to cross over to the domain of psychosis, Dr. Clark says. That was on March 19th during the incident. This is what he feels led to that. And perhaps the screaming when the stepfather said she just looked like she had a demon in her. That's what he said. Okay. Low-grade dissociative disorder at a young age for quite some time, for many years, and a significant mood swings made worse by the Lexapro because she was manic and needed the antipsychotic. I already said that. The voices were problematic for her. On the 12th, a week before, she was having dissociative episodes, and a week before, she wasn't able to focus in school. And usually she can. So Dr. Clark felt she was getting closer to some kind of real problem, real psychotic break. Carly was very worried. Her mother wouldn't be pleased with her about the marijuana use that day. She was very worried. There's a thing called malingering, and is the person faking it, right? So they don't need to feel guilty about what they've done. They're in denial or whatever. And he said that wasn't Carly. Sudden stress, close relationship. These are the reasons. Sudden stress. She had a close relationship with her mom, a strong bond, and no prior threats. She's unemotional, calm, cool, collected, emotional flatness for quite some time. Nothing in her past shows threats or anything, Dr. Clark said. Much more psychiatric problem than many knew, including herself. Like, she didn't even really know how incredibly sick she was mentally, you know? And he said that it wasn't a well-planned scheme that day. He didn't feel this was a scheme, you know? Apparently, you guys, she hid. I mean, we saw the camera. Was it after or no? I don't know. Or another camera. She hid a camera in the refrigerator. A video camera hid in the refrigerator. He said she does not fit the psychopathic mode. She cared deeply for both of her parents. And she, let's see, right or wrong. Did she know right or wrong? He said not Carly. It was the nature of her act. Carly would, that day, I mean, she didn't know right from wrong. That's what he's saying because of her thoughts. She would zone out often. Her mom thought Carly was living a double life. And that's when she said, I think you're living a double life, or however she worded it, you need to see a therapist. And then I also found out that marijuana is not legal in Mississippi, only the medicinal kind. So you know what I mean? She's smoking it quite a bit. It's not even legal. Her mom's a teacher. They're even more worried, right? Carly felt like her mom was overprotective. She needed to excel in school, please her mother. And she started smoking marijuana February 2024. So she was introduced to it by her father way back, but she started smoking it 2 to 3 times or 3 to 4 times a week the month before this incident. When she was picked up by the deputy, I can't remember what he asked, but her response was, seemed like a logical thing to do. And apparently that was the same thing she said when she got caught with a knife at school before she had to go to the alternative school. I don't know what any of that means, but she apparently hears gunshots in her dreams and they're terrifying for her. And wow, I did it. I'm at the end. Like I said in the beginning, and it was very touching, the lady defense lawyer was speaking with her for quite some time. When they were done, they rested and reached over in this motherly fashion. And she had like one hair that was out and she just kind of fixed it for her. And I was watching Carly and she was just kind of sitting there, kind of looking at her and kind of just gave her a little smile, like she was surprised, like someone was being motherly to her. Because apparently, she's she's all by herself in jail 23 hours a day. And when she walked out, the female lawyer kind of looked at her like she wanted to say, have a nice night, or you're cared about, or something. And she had to just keep her mouth closed. And it's really sad. Okay. Been an hour and 8 minutes and I'm crying. What's new? Okay, I love you guys. Thank you all for being here. Please follow the trial with me, and hopefully tomorrow I won't maybe take as many notes. There weren't any videos to show like yesterday, but we can talk more about it. I mean, what she did was heinous. We all know that. It's scary. But to me, it sounds like she was really struggling at a young age and had a lot put on her plate and felt that she had to please everyone around her, all the time. That's not a reason to do what she did. I don't know. She just prison for the rest of her life, when her life, because of divorce and having to go back and forth, and genetically she's born with these issues, and it's really sad because her mom really wanted to help her. And maybe it was just not the right meds at the right time or something, or the right med. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. Very sad. All right. Love you guys. PCT is extreme. Please hit the like or please subscribe. If you want to tip the hostess at all, my Cash App and PayPal are there. Thanks so much. Love you. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.